Hi to you all, it's Laura here from Space Within. I hope you're well. I'm here today as usual to record one of my little video messages for you, and today's topic and theme is semicolons. So you might know from your own life experience that a semicolon is a piece of grammar that is used in writing, particularly to separate sentences that have very similar meanings. So instead of a full stop or instead of an and in a sentence, often a semicolon is used like as a bridging piece of grammar, as a way to connect these two bits of information. And when I write and use semicolons, I often consider them to kind of be like a pause for breath, and a way to sort of keep things in flow without a hard full stop or without an and that sometimes feels really clumsy. So last week I was on a training program with some fellow coaching practitioners, a really beautiful training program. It was very rich in its learning. We were doing heaps of super useful and interesting stuff. And in the check-in that we had on the morning of day 3, I said to my teacher that what I felt I was really in need of was some semicolons. And of course I was using that as a metaphor. And what I was meaning by that when I was talking about needing semicolons was that I was needing this kind of pause for breath, this space, this opportunity to process a bit of my thinking, to digest, perhaps even just to kind of sit with nothing. Because the days were so full and so rich and beautiful though that was, I felt in myself like we were sort of cantering on, and like there was no grammar, there wasn't as much punctuation in the sentences as I needed. So it's not a criticism of the work, but it's just about my own personal need. So what I needed was essentially semicolons, metaphorically. So what does that mean? So for me, I think this means this pause for breath in life. That life can kind of run and just be sort of one thing after another, one sentence after another, one paragraph after another. It just goes on. And sometimes we have these kind of full stop moments of, okay, I've got to stop, right? Like taking a holiday, or even the weekend can often, if you're lucky, feel a little bit like that. But I wonder what life would be like if it had more semicolons in it, more metaphorical semicolons. I wonder what your life would be like if it had more of that, more pauses for breath, more small moments to kind of catch up and bridge from whatever is happening into whatever is coming next. And today is, in the UK, it's a bank holiday, so I'm not sure if people outside the UK call it a bank holiday, but a public holiday, we all know what one of those is. And I'm walking in Richmond Park. It's a beautiful, one of the royal parks in London, which is near home for me. And all around me I can see people having those semicolons, essentially. I mean, the bank holiday itself feels like a big semicolon because it's this extra like cheeky little day off that we get that happens 4 or 5 times a year here in the UK. And it's like, you know, it's not this hard stop that we've kind of been desperate for, and it's also not a continuation of one week into the next. It's this extra little moment of pause, of breath, of time to kind of just catch up and go again. And I can see people around me playing football, just walked past and someone was flying a kite. People are bike riding, walking dogs, playing with their kids, kind of having this spare day, this little moment of this ability to just catch up a little bit more with what's going on as they bridge one part of their life into the next. So excuse the planes. That is part of the challenge of living in this side of London. Makes us super connected to the rest of the world, but sometimes we get a little bit of noise overhead. So yeah, back to the message, semicolons. How would life be if you had more of them? And what can you bring into your daily life that can act as a semicolon, that can act as this little bridge between one part and the next? So it could be things like making your meetings shorter than 1 hour, for example. So I run my coaching sessions in 45-minute slots, which gives me 15 minutes before I go into my next one, and gives my clients a little bit of time before they move into their next one too. It could be making sure that you leave work at a time where you are able to walk to the train station or to your car and just get some opportunity to have a little moment to yourself. It could be making a cup of tea in between sessions at work. Just these tiny little things. It doesn't need to be big stuff. It doesn't always need to be full stops. These tiny little bridging moments that help you bridge one half of what's happening into the next half in a way that allows you to stop for breath, to pause, to catch yourself, and to be ready to go again. So I'll leave it with you to consider, what would life be like if you had more semicolons in it, and how, at a very literal level and a practical level, could you integrate some metaphorical semicolons into your life, particularly into your working life. I'll stop there. I'll put a semicolon in this and come back and talk to you again soon. If you want to reach out, as ever, then you're very welcome to. You know where to find me, and I will talk to you soon. Take care for now. Bye.